Hello, thank you for joining me. And I'm Daisy, and you're in my playlist, How to Learn Tarot. And we're going through the Fool's Journey, which is just going card by card on the 22 major arcanas, which is really a metaphor about life's experiences as we watch the Fool journey through life, going through different experiences as he tries to attain enlightenment. So we've watched and we've shared so much with him on this journey so far. And in the last video, it was all about reaching that goal. It's really about having that whole rebirth idea when we saw the sun and that baby on that horse with that banner just, enjoying life. There we go. So now what happens as he moves on? I mean, is it all over? What happens next? We are called now to deal with judgment. Okay, so we're going to look at some of the aspects on this card. And as I mentioned before, I'm going to repeat on every video that I'm doing these card things, just in case it's the first time you're tuning to my channel. Different cards will give you different images, especially if you're looking at the tarot with 78 decks. There'll be different ways that they're interpreting it, and it's important that when you're doing a reading to really just look at the symbols on the card, because you may draw things that you will not see in another card. So, I mean, just looking at this one, I could tell you that the Sun and Moon Tarot deck doesn't have this flag here, but it does have the angel with the trumpet and a different version of it. Okay, so now that I've covered that, how important it is to really go by your intuition. Don't doubt what your eyes see, what your nose smell, what your ears hear, what your heart feels. These are all gifts that God has given us so that we can experience this life, right? Okay, now we're going to go and take a look at some of the things here that we see when we come across the judgment card, because it is about absolution, it is about karma, and it's about that inner calling. But we'll jump with the numerology aspect of this card that is represented by the number 20 that we see here. And the number 20 is really about this kind of concept of duality in a sense. It is about that universal service, yet for that need for security. And then when we break down the number to its core number, 2 plus 0, 20, 2 plus 0 gives you the base number of 2. And the number 2 is about duality. It's about pursuing your soul mission. And also now when we look at some of the other associations that this card, the judgment card, has, it is associated with Pluto. And Pluto is about transformation. It is the planet of transformation. And how appropriate when we see what's happening here at the judgment card, just by looking at what's going on, we get a feeling that there is some type of transformation happening here at this stage, at this level of this growth. The other thing here, this is associated with the fire element. And it is also associated, and knowing that it is associated with the fire element, then we have learned that we have Archangel Michael that's associated with the fire element, as well as the cardinal position is south. I've noticed that some authors have moved the judgment around for it to be a water association. Some have it with fire. It depends how you feel about that. So it would change, but I go with your feeling on maybe what the other elements are around, what the other cards are speaking at that moment. So, but I go with the way that I have it, that I've learned it, and but I just wanted to bring that to your awareness. Okay, so then I just want to share with you something from the Bible, from the book of Matthew, chapter 13. It says here, just skip around here, verse 41, the Son of Man will send his angels, and they will weed out of his kingdom all that is scandalous and all that is evil. Then the just will shine like the sun in the kingdom of their Father. If you have ears, then hear. Good stuff, right? Okay. So the other thing that I wanted to share here is, let's go into some of the descriptions here. Well, obviously there's this big angel with a trumpet, and so we have this angel, could be Angel Gabriel, the messenger angel, right? Could be, right? And here it's about bringing God's message, for all those who want to hear. So not everybody hears, because not everybody has their ear tuned. So it's, asking for that wisdom to have your ears opened so that you can begin to connect with the angelic realm and to listen to God's messages when they come, in whichever form they're going to come. And then the other thing, a symbol here is that we have is the trumpet. So this is kind of letting us know how beautiful music is. Music does open us to kind of either disconnecting us from where we're at right now, or it could be suggesting that, the art can help us transcend, our current situation, and to tap into more of the arts and music into our lives as well, because we can find healing in that. So while we're at this already, with this flag here, with the cross, it is about healing. It is about divine judgment. And it's funny because the other place that we see such impact of red and white together is back when when the fool started that journey early on, and God gave him all these tools to use and gave him all this wisdom and purity. And we see it reflected here with that angel wearing red and white. So we've come full circle. We've now, all these things, we've learned how to use them here. And are we ready to transcend? That is the question, right? And the other thing that we see here are these humans. They're naked. And that here is really about community and embracing truth. And possibly because it shows 3 could be, the embracing of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit could be bringing finally that unity of mind, body, and soul together. And so we could see this, and that there is nothing to hide, that we have come across, because we saw that coming at the 19. We saw that we're all ready. We've gone through so much. We got nothing to cover. We got nothing to hide. You take me as I am. And God, I'm coming here to you in all my bareness, and I'm here to receive your word. I'm here to receive what you have, and the glory belongs to you. And so we see then these coffins that these humans are standing on, and that they're free from bondage. They're free from what was holding them. And then in the background, we see the mountains. That theme has been with us right from the beginning. We saw these mountains when the fool originally started on that journey. Those mountains were there, and this could signify the eternal truth. And we see that these coffins possibly are floating on water. And the other time that we saw, right after that magician, then the next time that we saw the water theme was, we saw it with the Empress, the first theme of the water flowing in all this nature. So here, now, what used to be just a river now has turned to an ocean, and now there's so much. Then we also saw the hermit. The hermit was walking us through the mountains, and now guess what? We're right here. We've got to go through these emotions. We've got to deal with these things that are showing up in our lives right now. So we have all these things here, and reminding us that the journey is near an end. So how do we take these symbols and apply them in a reading? That's the question. Okay. So definitely that the end of a cycle is here, an end of an era, an end of a way of being, and that it is time for renewal. It is time to start fresh again, and to forgive, and to, forgive yourself and forgive others for just the things that have happened. And maybe sometimes it's ignorance, and sometimes, it's just life teaching us and helping us grow. And we need to be kind to each other, kind to ourselves too, on that process as well. The other thing here, it might be called that, we need to renew our faith and our relationships We need to liberate ourselves from, these old ways of being and these old ways of thinking. This is that final call. This is like, hey, we're almost there. We can purge ourselves from these last things that have been binding us. We must do that if we are to seek that divine guidance. So there's this new divine guidance coming, this new divine healing coming into our lives. And all of this is for spiritual development so that we can have better relationships. And, very significant changes are coming into our lives here at this time. And be ready and willing to receive that. And so, what does it mean when it is in the reverse? Well. So that's the thing, that maybe you're going through a period of loneliness. Maybe there's some isolation. Maybe there might be some legal issues that are showing up in your life right now, or some negative attitudes, unhappiness. That's just, so many things are just unbearable that you're not willing to let go. Maybe you still have some hidden things in your coffins, maybe things that you just don't want to let go, that are part of the past and you're not ready to let go. Maybe you're dissatisfied. Maybe you're feeling sorry for yourself and you have self-pity. Maybe there could be some delays in some of the things that, are trying to kind of, finalize, but they're not quite there yet because you still have a lot of things to clear up before that final chapter or that final thing can be done with, So there might be some imbalances or some things that are still feeling imprisoned with, some aspects of life that are still holding you back. And it's really time for you to acknowledge what these things are and make a choice. Are you ready? Have you learned the lessons? Are you ready? Because judgment is here. All right. And now that you've dealt with all that and you've been willing to let go and God's judgment has come to pass and there is nothing else, because you are bare. And we saw that bareness at the sun, and we're still saying, God, here I am. Here I am. What comes next? Well, guess what? Yes. Aha. It is here. Enlightenment. And let's find out how to interpret enlightenment. Check it out on my next video.